You ever feel like you're always on edge? Like the smallest thing could set you off. You try to keep it all together, but it's only a matter of time before you explode. But when you do, when you finally fucking snap, it's like something else takes over. You say things you don't mean, you do things you regret, and when the storm settles, you're left with the wreckage. Broken relationships, lost opportunities, another reason to hate yourself. And here's the worst part. You don't even know why. You tell yourself it's just stress, that you've got a short fuse, that it's just how you are. But deep down, you know that's bullshit. You know there's something wrong. And no matter how much you tell yourself you're going to do better next time, it always ends up the same way. See, anger is a trap. It's not power. It's not strength. It's a leash. And you're the one being yanked around. Think about it. How many times has your anger actually helped you? How many times has losing control made your life better? Probably never. Not once. And yet you keep falling into the same pattern over and over again because no one ever taught you what's really happening inside of you. No one ever told you that anger isn't the problem. That's just a symptom. It's the smoke. It's not the fire. If you don't learn how to put that fire out, you're going to burn your entire life down. So let's stop lying to ourselves. Let's stop pretending that this is just how you are. Because right now, your anger is running your life. It's making your decisions. It's choosing your words. It's deciding who stays in your life and who walks away. And if you don't take control, it's only going to get worse. So in this video, I want to show you why your anger is not the real problem and what actually is. A hidden reason you keep losing control and why willpower won't fix it. And how to break that cycle and finally get your power back before it's too late. Because if you don't fix this now, you probably never will. So let's rewind. When did this all start? I guarantee you, your anger didn't come out of nowhere. You weren't born with it. Someone or something put it there. Maybe you grew up in a house where emotions weren't safe. You got punished for crying. You learned how to stop. So you got laughed at for being scared. So you buried it. The only emotion that ever felt powerful was anger, was rage. Or maybe you were that kid who never got heard. Your feelings didn't matter. Your voice got ignored. And after years of being dismissed, you finally snapped. And you realized, oh, now people listen to me. Now they take me seriously. Now they back off. And just like that, anger became your go-to survival strategy. But here's where it gets worse. That pattern, it's still running your life. Every time you explode, it's because that old wound is still open. Every time you lose it, it's because some part of you is still that kid, screaming to be seen. And until you address the real pain, you'll never break free. Think about it. When was the last time that you got angry over something small, something stupid, a comment, a joke, a look, and the reaction felt way bigger than the solution called for? That's because anger isn't about the present. It's about the past. You're not reacting to what's happening now. You're reacting to every time you felt powerless before. Every time you weren't heard. Every time you were dismissed, rejected, or made to feel small. The people you're blowing up on, your girl, your boss, your friends, they are not the enemy. They're just the triggering circumstance that you never healed from. Your girlfriend says something in a tone that reminds you of how your mom used to criticize you, and boom, explosion. Your boss talks to you in a way that reminds you of how your dad made you feel small, instant fucking rage. It's all connected. And this is why just controlling your temper will never work, because you're trying to put a lid on something that's been boiling for years. You can't suppress it. You have to understand it. You have to face the real wounds underneath. So ask yourself, where did this start for me? Who made me feel powerless as a kid? What triggers me the most? And why? Because until you answer those questions, you'll keep repeating this cycle over and over again. So now that you understand where your anger is coming from, let's talk about how to break the cycle. Because awareness alone won't save you. You need a real a strategy to stop anger from running your life. So here's some things you can try. Number one, identify the hidden triggers. Your anger isn't random. It's following a pattern. Start tracking your outbursts. What triggered them? Who was involved? What happened right before that? See, there's science to back this up. Studies that show that self-awareness disrupts emotional autopilot. Once you see the pattern, you can change it. So your exercise here is to keep an anger log for at least a week. Write down what set you off and how you reacted. After just a few days, patterns will begin to emerge. And those patterns, that's your roadmap to change. Step number 2, build the pause reflex. Your brain's fight or flight system kicks in before logic has a chance. The trick is to create space between your trigger and your reactions. There's neuroscience out there that have proven that taking just a 90-second pause can allow the emotional surge to settle. That is all it takes to regain control. So to exercise this, the next time you feel anger building, walk away for 90 seconds. Take some deep breaths, sip some cold water, or even just count backward from 50. This short circuits the automatic explosion. Step number 3, reprogram your emotional response. Anger is not your default emotion. It's a conditioned response. The good news, you can recondition it. Cognitive behavioral therapy research shows that when you reframe your thoughts, your emotional reactions will change too. So to exercise this, when you feel anger spiking, stop and ask yourself, what am I really feeling? Usually it's something deeper, a rejection, fear, embarrassment. By naming the real emotion, you weaken anger's grip. Number 4, use physical movement to burn off your anger. Anger isn't just in your head. It is stored in your body. If you don't release it physically, it's festering, and it keeps you in a constant state of tension. There's studies out there that show high-intensity exercise reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, and it boosts serotonin, that calming chemical. So try this. Develop a rage release routine. Lift heavy, sprint, hit a punching bag. Get that energy out of your system in a controlled way before it controls you. Step number 5, guys, try changing your environment. If you're constantly surrounded by toxic people, toxic negativity, or stress, your anger will keep thriving. You need to change what's fueling it. So your exercise is to audit your surroundings. What situations, what people or habits push you toward that anger? Start cutting them out or minimizing their impact. Step number 6, you can develop emotional control through breath work. There's elite soldiers out there. There's athletes and CEOs that all train their breathing for one reason. It controls the nervous system. Research from Harvard shows that controlled breathing lowers stress, increases focus, and stabilizes emotions. So your exercise here is to practice some box breathing. It's simple. It's just an inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and then hold again for 4 seconds. This physically reprograms your body's response to stress. Step number 7, rebuild your identity right now. You see, the way you see yourself as an angry person isn't working. And as long as that identity stays, so will the problem. There's psychological studies that prove that identity shapes your behavior. If you want real change, you need to rewrite the story that has made up your identity. So every single morning, write this down. I am in control. I do not let my emotions rule me. I respond. I don't react. Say it out loud. Write it down over and over and over several times to rewire your subconscious brain. Step number 8, get some professional help if needed. If anger has been running your life for years, getting external help isn't a weakness. It's a power move. Therapy, coaching, or even just some guided programs that accelerate your progress. CBT and trauma therapy have been scientifically proven to help people regain their control over their emotions. So if you've been stuck in this cycle for years, reach out to a professional. This is how you go from knowing what to do to actually doing it. So your anger doesn't define you unless you let it. Now that you have the roadmap, the question is, will you use it? So here's the truth. Right now, you're standing at a crossroads. You can take everything that you've just learned and nod your head and do absolutely nothing. You can go back to your life and tell yourself you'll work on it and keep repeating the same cycle of outbursts, regret, and damage control. Or you can actually do something about it. Because let's be real, if you could fix this alone, you probably would have by now. But you're still here fighting the same battles, still losing control, still being ruled by your emotions instead of mastering them. So here's what's next. If you're done letting anger control your life, if you're ready to actually break free from this cycle, then I want you to take the next step and book a call with me. This isn't some generic self-help garbage. This is real work for real men who are done making excuses. If you want someone to pat you on the back and tell you it's okay while you keep destroying your life, this one's not for you. If you're looking for some magical, effortless hack that fixes everything overnight, don't waste my time. But if you're ready to put in the work, face the real issues, and finally take control of your emotions, this one is for you. I'm your guy. So here's what you need to do. Click the link that's in the description down below, book a free call, and show up to make a real change. No more, I'll do it later. No more, I'll figure it out myself. You've done that and it didn't work. This will. The choice is yours. Stay stuck or take action. Talk to you soon.